Hello and welcome to the Matchbook Betting Exchange Greyhound Racing Podcast. We are looking ahead today to the semi-final of the Matchbook Betting Exchange, Irish St. Ledger from Limerick. As always, I'm joined by the lily-white assassin, Dylan Brennan. Dylan, who has been keeping a keen eye on the Ledger over the last few weeks. Dylan, we're into the semi-finals at this stage. I'm glad we didn't do this prior to the quarterfinals because we would have probably looked very foolish indeed. Lots of shocks last week, but we are left with a wonderful 12 Greyhounds ahead of the semi-finals on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was all kind of going according to plan up to last week, and I think you always kind of get them weeks in these big competitions where not just one goes out, but you could have a handful of them going out. So it's look, to be fair, there's no point in saying it's showing the market wide open. I think it was a very open market even before that. But yeah, a couple of big names went out last week, but still 12 really good dogs left, and I think the ladies are leading the way so far.
That's something we've been saying quite a bit for the last 2 to 3 years. We have a very special group around, and it's not just a special group. We're now into the next special group, and the next special group just seems to be a bit of a conveyor belt of wonderful, wonderful bitches around at present. But as I said, the final 12, Balnabola Ed went out last week. He was my selection. He was my anti-post bet. And I'm only left with Trinity Jr., who's in there sort of middle of the pack, a dog with good early speed. But as you said, he's facing some really talented trackers. And at the top of the market, we do have 2 or 3 bitches, as you suggested. Ballymac Run, the Puppy Oaks champion, Bobsleigh Dream, the powerhouse, and Bocco's Crystal, who has a very good draw in the semi-finals. Let's take a look at the outright betting at present. This market's only after going up in Rio. It is yet to settle. It's about 16 at present. By the time Saturday comes, it'll be down to around 100%, and you can expect 1 or 2 of these prices to greatly increase. But Ballymac Run is there, 3.8. Now, I would imagine that you'll be able to get sort of 4.8 come Saturday morning. You can see why people are interested in her, Dylan. She's running out of her skin. She won the Racing Post Greyhound Television Puppy Oaks at Shelburne Park recently. She'll need to be doing things right, though, on Saturday night.
Yeah, she will. Look, she's in great form, but I think she's got her box again on Saturday night, which is a big thing. I think, to be fair, looking ahead to the weekend, I think the draw has been fair to most of them, maybe apart from Bobsleigh Dream. But yeah, look, she's like all the bitches that are left in it really they're just been in an incredible vein of form, not just in this competition, but in the weeks and months leading up to it, and they've just continued that, relentlessly the whole way through. And yeah, you'll definitely get bigger than that, like you say, closer to the weekend. But she's, she deserves to be right up there, to be fair. Like I said, she's in great form. She's running the track really well, and she's got her box on Saturday night too. So.
Next in the list there is Bobsleigh Dream, a really powerful performer. She was a touch lucky the other night. She was left second, and well, once doing so, she was simply too strong for Trinity Jr. She went on to win by over 4 lengths in a fast time. She's just an immensely powerful lady, Dylan. She, we'll forget about the draw for the moment because we'll get to the 2 semi-finals a little bit later on. But, if she avoids early traffic, it's going to be very hard to keep her out of the frame.
Yeah, she's like the first round she came home in under 12 seconds. I think she came home in 11.99, and I clocked the second week roughly, and I got 11.99 as well. I think she was around 12.10 if I'm not mistaken last week. But when you're coming home that quick, it's very hard to keep you out of the frame. And she's very, very powerful. She's just in unbelievable form. Obviously Pat Buckley will be local to Limerick, so she knows her way around there, and she's been running the track well. But it will be a bit tougher for her this week. But like I say, when you're coming home in them sort of sectionals, I think it'll be hard to keep her out of the frame.
Yeah, sure will. We'll flick through the rest of them there. Bocco's Crystal. For me, I think she should be outright favourite. I think she's the one guaranteed finalist. She's in trap 1 in her semi-final. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But she's running out of her skin. She was balked on the corner last week when she was disputing the lead, and she still managed to hang on for 3rd spot. That could prove crucial in a week's time because this lady's very capable of winning the Ledger.
Oh yeah, without doubt, she's sensational, and talk about the form in the lead up to this. Like she's been in unbelievable form since the Derby, really, just before the Derby. And I agree with you. I think she looks guaranteed to be in the final. She was a bit unlucky last week. I think just Trinity Junior probably just had the pace to her to the bend, and she obviously got a bit of trouble on the corner. But I think she stuck on really well and really gamely to qualify. And the thing I like about her is she can do it either way. She's more than capable of bouncing out, setting a strong pace up front. But she doesn't have to either. She can do it from behind, and I think she, on looking at the market there, she'd be the one I'd have at the top of it at the minute anyway.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. And looking down through the next to them, Mustang Jet, Romeo Magical, Weekend Dream, Trinity Junior, 4 dogs with tremendous early speed. It's as much a case of whether they can trap on terms or not. Mustang Jet, tricky draw the next day. Romeo Magico, a tricky draw. It's funny, Romeo Magico is nearly the same price as he was at the start of the competition. Not quite at 6, but he's available at 7 with the fixed odd firms. I would imagine come Saturday morning, people would be taking a chance with him, and you could get upwards of, you could nearly get to 9-10 with Romeo Magico on Saturday. It probably worth just a little bit of a nibble, because I thought he ran better last week after a very flat run in the second round. Weekend Dream is a dog going up fast. Trinity Junior, as I said earlier on, is a dog I've been backing, or I've backed for outright glory at a bigger price than that, needless to say. Of the 4, which would take your fancy, Dylan?
I'm actually on Romeo Magical from the start now. I wouldn't be so keen on him now. I just think he's a little bit below it. Whether it's been a long old season on him and maybe it's taken its toll, I'm not sure, but it was better.
There is a bit of a cough going around, and there was rumours the even that he's getting over the cough. And if that's the case, they often come out of the cough flying. Do you know what I mean? It's only a matter of a couple of weeks ago he did that 29-28 run around Cork. If he was to produce that sort of form around Limerick, well, obviously he's a major player.
Yeah, look, and his recent runs would, there's something amiss with him. I wasn't sure. I didn't know that myself. I wasn't sure if he was maybe feeling something or what. But even last week, it was a better run, but there just wasn't that same spark to the third bend as what he normally has. Like that, I wouldn't be complaining. He's still there, and like you say, there has been. You talk about the cough there. I know a couple of people from near me have. Their kennel has it, and it's if he comes over and comes out the right side of it, well and good. But like you say, he's still there, and he's not a dog. It's very hard to overlook him. I remember looking last week and thinking I wouldn't like to be on him. Looking at his run the previous week, but I wouldn't like to be backing against him either. He's that type of dog. Out of the ones you mentioned, I think Trinity Junior and Mustang Jet are the two. I know Weekend Dream is popping out and he's got a nice bit of early too, but I think Mustang Jet and Trinity Junior are the two that have probably the most early left in the competition. Just with Mustang Jet, he's sectionals. He's setting the standard with sectionals in the third corner. I still don't think he's coming away that well. I think if he hits the lid, I think he's still yet to really fly out. And I think there's a big run still in him. But it'll be, them two come up against one another now this week. And I think whichever gets first run will be crucial there. But if I was to pick between them...
It's like this, if he doesn't produce his best run this weekend, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, he could be. But of them 4... If I was to pick, I'd probably pick Mustang Jet. Just the fact I think he's the only wide seed left as well, so he's going to get his draw. And like I said, he has that early pace. But look, I'd probably just soldier on with Magical for now and hope he gets to the final anyway.
With all due respect to the remaining runners, there's only a couple more that I want to mention, and they are Ballymaquispa and Anna Bailey. Ballymaquispa is a freak. She's absolutely flying at present. She was second in the Laurels recently. The other night she came from 10, 12 lengths behind. She's beaten a length by Mustang Jet in the finish after all sorts of traffic. It was a really outstanding run by her. She faced a tricky draw this week, but again, she's another one that's going to be very hard to keep out of the frame, Dylan. I've been pretty tweeting this one for a while. I think she'll be in the final.
Yeah, she's, again, you're going back to what you're coming home in, and she's ridiculous. But the funny thing with her is, when they're behind on the video and you're trying to just even get a rough estimation of what they're coming home in, you can't even clock her because she's not even on your screen down the back. and then she comes out of nowhere. But she's definitely coming home in under 12 anyway, I'd say, probably in all around so far. She probably just gets a little too far behind. But like you say, again, it's one of those. It's, you know, how do you keep her out of frame when you're coming home in them sort of sectionals, you know?
All right, let's take a look at these two semi-finals, and then we'll get your final thoughts and maybe a couple of ones that stand out at current prices. The semi-finals, first heat, Boccos Crystal, Midfield Dino, Trinity Junior, Drumbeg 10, Bobsleigh Dream, and Mustang Jet. That's the opening heat. As I said to you earlier on, it's tricky. Boccos Crystal is the best of the draw, no question. Midfield Dino is strong. Trinity Junior is going up strongly. Need to be on the sharpest. Drumbeg 10 is running so well for 16-year-old Evan McAuliffe. He's a good starter. He's a big price, however. Bobsleigh Dream be finishing like a train from trap 5, not ideal, but you'd imagine if she actually missed the kick, it'd probably nearly better for her. She got to run in behind, and then Mustang Jet out in trap 6. I think Boccos Crystal is perhaps the one to beat here, but I give strong claims to Trinity Junior and Bobsleigh Dream to a point. I think Mustang Jet could be in a spot of bother here unless he finds his trapping boots, because if he's third into the back straight, he's gone, because I think Bobsleigh Dream will pick him up.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said earlier, I think it's going to be crucial between Trinity Junior and Mustang Jet, which gets first run. You know, whichever turns in front, I think they're safe enough in terms of qualifying anyway. But I think even if one of them turns second, it could be in a spot of bother. I'd be fairly sweet on the top pitch here now. I think on the draw and the form she's in and all, I think she'll be very hard to beat. She was probably just, had the draws been reversed last week with Trinity Junior, could have been a different story. But I think if she pops out, she's been trapping well. She's definitely going to hold the inside line to the corner with midfield Dino. I could see her turning. I could even see her turning second, and I think if she turns second, she'll win. I think she'll pick up whatever leads between Trinity Junior and Mustang Jet. But you'll be watching where Bobsleigh Dream turns as well. Like you say, I think she'd probably be better off missing it, getting herself across to the rail, because she is going to edge in. And like you say, she's got a couple of good starters on her inside. Drumbeg 10 will be a big price, but like you say, he can come away. So she might be just better off missing it and getting herself across to the rail. She'd be flying home. I'd say she'll run into a place, but I'd be fairly sweet on the top pitch now, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's absolutely certain that the top pitch doesn't lead. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if she led on the opening corner, went on to lead thereafter. As I said, I'm hopeful more than anything else with Trinity Junior. I want him to make the final for obvious enough reasons. I think we've yet to see the best of him. He took a wallop on the corner the other night. Now, he did lead off the bend, but had no answer to Bobsleigh Dream. But that's to be expected. Very few would have had an answer to Bobsleigh Dream where she turned. So I think he can play a massive part in proceedings. And Mustang Jet, as I said, I think he'll need to lead those two. And if he doesn't, I think he's in trouble, because not just Bobsleigh Dream, but, you know, Drumbeg 10 is capable of being up his inside, and midfield Dino is very strong. He's running very well for Rachel Wheeler, who has two runners in it. On to the second semi-final, and here we have Ballymac Run in 1, Romeo Magico in 2, Weekend Dream in 3, Ballymac Whisper 4, Kilcolgan Zeus in 5, and Anna Bailey out in trap 6. With all due respect to the likes of Kilcolgan Zeus, I think he's going to need plenty of luck. I think Anna Bailey's running very strong, but probably does need a little bit of luck. But there's potential for it, because the inside trio, they just could get in each other's way. Ballymac Run's a decent enough starter. She's not blessed with massive early speed, but if she hit the lids, she'd be, you know, right bang there on the corner. Romeo Magico, well, we could speak ad nauseum about him, what he's going to do at boxes. When he does trap, he is blistering early. When he doesn't trap, he is blistering early. I think he'll come on for his last two runs. I think he's a big player, but I think he's going to need to trap on terms. And Weekend Dream will edge inwards slightly from trap 3. He's been going up fast. So potential for it to get tight on the inside. Ballymac Wisp will be finishing like at a train back in. She's in trap 4. If she minds herself around the opening two bends and avoids traffic, I think she'll be very close at the finish. And then the outside pair, Kilcolgan Zeus and Anna Bailey. Anna Bailey, certainly at a price, could run well. I really can't make a claim for Kilcolgan Zeus. I think he's going to struggle. What's your own thoughts on it, Dylan?
Yeah, I think it's very open. I actually struggled with this a bit. One thing I'll say about Anna Bailey, I've no doubt the ability is there. If he hit the lid and won, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, because I think we spoke about him a bit. I think even in the Derby, there's a run in him. It'll happen some night. Unfortunately, we just don't know when that'll be. The only worry I'd have with him is his trapping, and I think that's what's letting him down. He has the pace to go up quite well, but he's just not coming away. And he'll have to come away Like Kilcolgan and Zeus is coming away quite well. I don't think he'll figure, but I think if you're on Anna Bailey, I think you're definitely going to want to brush up on your trapping. I agree, Ballymacwhisper, she'll be bang there at the finish. Whether she gets up is another thing. She's going to be not going to be coming home quicker. Think again, like the previous, I think Ballymacaron has the draw. There's still have a bit of a question mark over Romeo Magico, so it's probably not one I'd be getting involved in. But if I was pushed for a selection, again, purely based off the draw, I'd probably take a chance on the top.
Yeah, Ballymacaron. I think it's wide open. I agree with you. I do suspect that Romeo Magico will step up in recent form, and we know how classy he is. He's an English Derby champion, obviously enough, and if he did produce anything close to his best, I think he'd take a lot of beating. I think Ballymacwhisper will be bang there at the finish. I think those two will qualify. I don't know how Romeo Magico actually qualifies, but I just get this. I just suspect that he will. I think you'll see him charging down the back straight and probably find himself in a qualifying position. And it wouldn't surprise me if he did brush up in his box and turn very close to the pace, if not in front. Thereafter, we can dream Ballymacaron, even Anna Bailey. It wouldn't surprise me if any of those three went through. When you're looking at the outright betting now, Dylan, the fact that there's so many inside seeds left, there's only one middle, one wide, so 10 inside seeds. There is the potential for 6 inside seeds. Are you prone to pick the inside seeds that aren't as dependent on the draw? Like the likes of a Ballymacaron, if she was in 4 or 5 in the final, she'd be a bigger price in the final than she is now. Does that play in your mind?
Yeah, like looking at the market there now, if you were to, if I had to have a bet now, and like we said it earlier, I think she's guaranteed to be in the final. I know she's an inside seed, but I don't think it matters what box she's in. Is Bocco's Crystal.
I tend to agree with you. Yeah.
I think and like I said, she's just trap doesn't matter. She can do it from behind. She can do it from the front. She's just in unbelievable form. Just everything sort of points to her, really. Of the 12 that's left. But like that, when I stayed for the draw on Saturday night, and I remember thinking to myself before anything was drawn out, I said, sure. I actually said that Bobsleigh Dream has to get drawn 4 or 5 because I think she's been in 1 for the first 3 rounds or something, which is where she wants to be. And I said she can't keep getting it, and she obviously did draw 5. But it's just one of them ledgers. You can have your opinion on it now, but next week Saturday night when the draw is made, whatever opinion you have now could be thrown out the window. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the way I look at it, going back to Bobsleigh Dream, if she qualified and drew 1 for the final, I probably struggle to back against her, to be honest, because I just think that's where she wants to be. She's running so well, she stays on extremely well, but I just think Bocco's Crystal, if you like, would be the safe bet at this moment in time, because like I said, it doesn't matter where she's drawn. She can do it from the front, she can do it from behind, and she's just in unbelievable form.
So they're the two, Bocco's Crystal and Bobsleigh Dream. I'm being generous, I'm going to give you 2.
Yeah, well, if they were the 2, well, look, like I said, I've got Romeo Magico from the start, and although I'm not as sweet on him now as I was, like you say, he's still there. And if he found a few more lengths this week and qualified, he's another one. It's just so open. You can go through a lot of them, and that's the great thing about it. I think from the start it looked that way. It looked like when you looked at the draw from the first round, you just knew whatever was going to be in the final, it was going to be fairly open. I don't think you were ever going to have anything that was going to blow everything else out of the water. And that's the way it's proved. And I was
hoping Ballybula Ed would, but as we know, it didn't happen from another quarterfinal exit for him. Of my choices, I'm gonna stick up Ballymacwhisper because I think she'll be in the final. She's 10 currently in the exchange. That'll be 12 out of 14, I'd imagine, Saturday morning. I'd get involved at that because I think she'll be in the final. And just the way she ran the other night, and it wasn't just the fact that she was absolutely finishing fast. She was like a go-kart. She was just dodging in and out. Her center of her center of gravity is just so low. She just seems to be able to turn on the sixpence. She just seems to be very clever. She can find the gap when she needs to, and on top of the fact that she's so powerful from halfway, can see her go close. And then obviously I have Trinity Junior backs, but I would recommend Bocco's Crystal as well. They'd be my two. Bocco's Crystal from the draw next Saturday night. I think she'll go through. And as you said, Dylan, I don't think there's any draw that really put her off in the final. Even if she was drawn out in 5 or 6, I couldn't see it being that big an issue, especially if there was something in 4 edging inwards. She could get a lovely run to the corner. And Ballymacquispa, as I said, because it really doesn't matter where she's drawn. She'll be sitting behind them and hoping to get the gaps late. And given how open it is, there's every chance of crowding up front in both the semi-final and the final. Anything more to add, Dylan? Great Ledger, will you be down on Saturday night?
Yeah, go down Saturday and back down then for the final. So I think I missed the second round, was the only round I missed. So no, I love it. Look, I think apart from the Derby and the Winter Festival as it is now, the Ledger is always one I look forward to. I think Limerick's a great spot, always a great atmosphere. It's always a great competition, and this year hasn't disappointed. And yeah, take the trip down Saturday and next week again for the final. And I know you'll be down yourself, I think, during the middle of next week, is it?
I'm doing the roadshow, the Talking Dogs roadshow next Tuesday from Limerick. We'll be talking all matters Matchbook Betting Exchange, Irish St. Ledger. We'll know the final by then, so we'll be able to put our finger on it. Of course, we'll be back here next week talking about the final, Dylan. Looking forward to it. Don't forget, folks, you can sign up with Matchbook Betting Exchange. All those prices, I can promise you, they'll be greatly enhanced on Saturday morning from where they are right now, and well worth your while getting involved. And the bonus code there is Insights30, a £30 welcome offer. Money back as a free bet if your first bet loses. Can't say worse than that. I'd be sticking it on Ballymacquispa. You never know. 30 quid at around the 10 to 1 mark. It's a nice little carrot. And if it doesn't win, well, you have the 30 on it again some other time. But that's it from us on this. What are we now? We're Thursday morning. Looking forward to Saturday's action, the Matchbook Betting Exchange, Irish St. Ledger. We'll see you next week. For the moment, though, good luck, good night, and God bless.